Welcome to r/Bestof Redditor updates, where OP's girlfriend gets a questionable tattoo. Our next Reddit post is from r/relationships. I've been with my girlfriend for almost a year. I made sure she knew that I wanted to take things very slow and that I didn't want anything too serious right now. I've only been divorced for a year, and I have primary custody of my kids, who are 2 and 4, so they are and have always been my priority. I can't stress how clear I was about keeping our relationship casual. Anyway, I have a lot of tattoos. I won't pretend like they're all super meaningful, but most of the bigger pieces are related to my hobbies, friends, family, random stuff that I'm into. My girlfriend only had the tiniest tattoo on her ankle. I was away last week doing the Vegas bachelor party / road trip thing, and she texts me that she has a surprise for me and sends me a picture of her tattoo. It's a tree that starts at where her butt meets her leg and ending on the back of her neck. The branches have terrible tattoos that are copies of many of mine. A few in particular piss me off. One is a copy of a tattoo that my buddies and I got done to commemorate a friend that died. Another is a very similar to one of mine that was inspired by a drawing my kid did. I showed it to my friends, and they all think that she's effing crazy. Her explanation is just that she liked my tattoos, so she wanted to get similar ones but in her own design, and she did it to honor me. She said that she got it for me. She went to a terrible artist, so it looks pretty bad, and the design isn't too great in itself, which I think defeats the purpose of honoring someone, and they mean literally nothing to her. Between her copying my tattoos and have a genuinely terrible tattoo covering her entire backside, I really don't find her sexy anymore. It's a huge mood killer. She was my dream girl in bed, so without that, there isn't much left. I'm starting to consider just breaking up with her because what she did seems so insane. On the other hand, we've been dating for almost a year and I'm really into her, and she now has this giant tattoo that's honoring me, so breaking up would suck. Opinions? I like this comment from I Swear I'm Helping. It's even crazier that she doesn't even know the meaning of them. It's like she just wants to wear your skin. Then, 9 days later, OP posted an update. We broke up. I tried to stick it out, but the tattoo was too much of a turnoff, and I just didn't find her attractive anymore, which is the opposite of what she had intended with it. The breakup went about as expected. She completely lost it, and yes, she was mad because she thought that it would lead to something more serious eventually. My tattoo artist agreed to finish the piece for her, and he'll cover up the bits that match my tattoos. It should be very easy since there wasn't any shading yet. I'm glad she agreed to see him because now her tattoo has a chance of looking decent, and I can be certain that it'll be properly covered up. I tried to get her to explain to me why she thought that it was a good idea, but all she kept saying was that she truly believed that I would like it, and she thought that it would help move our relationship to the next level. I told her she should see a therapist, and she told me to F off. So, there you have it. This post just sounds like a train wreck. She's crazy and OP's disrespectful when he said, what was the line? She was my dream girl in bed, so without that, there isn't much left. I get that it's like a casual hookup thing, but you really have nothing else nice to say at all about a person that you've been casually dating for an entire year, just that she's good in bed, and that's it? Our next Reddit post is from Random Dude. Almost 3 weeks ago, a good friend of mine, Alex, and an acquaintance, Mike, got a hold of a video of my girlfriend Jamie banging another man. Mike found this browsing through adult sites with niche themes and, by chance, recognized my girlfriend Jamie. He got into contact with Alex about it, where both of them told me about the infidelity. When Alex and Mike told me of the infidelity, I went somewhere between shock and numb. I couldn't really say anything until I saw the video, where I proceeded to puke my guts out. I couldn't even sit through a minute of it. The fact that it was edited to go straight into the action with Jamie's face clearly visible didn't help. We drove Mike home, and Alex had good sense to force me to spend the night at his place rather than go home where I share an apartment with Jamie with no idea how that would end. We shared some beers, mostly in silence. Alex did try to make me open up on what I felt about Jamie's infidelity, but I was just numb. I didn't know what I felt, and I told him so. I felt like wading through water with no thought in mind other than what was in front of me. Alex didn't force anymore, and I passed out sometime later. When I woke up, I recovered enough sense to realize that our relationship was most likely over. I went straight home through public transportation, most likely brooding and/or looking pissed. I wonder what the other passengers thought when they saw me looking like garbage while trying to emulate Batman. I get home and catch Jamie getting ready to go out, and she asked me where I was and why I didn't contact her. I don't bother answering and just told her we needed to talk. We sit down facing each other on our kitchen table that we built from scratch in my grandfather's farm, and that random thought pretty much broke the dam. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of harsh words were said, accusations, and blame. There's too many details to describe. But essentially, I immediately broke down in tears and asked her how the hell she could ruin this relationship that we worked so hard on. She's confused and wanted an explanation. I drop the bomb and show the video. She cries, begs for forgiveness, but I hear nothing. More crying and cursing until I tell her that we're over. That was it, and she just shuts off. She slumped down and closed her eyes, still crying but saying nothing. This gets me out of the anger, and I try to figure out what she's doing. I talk to her, I prod her hard and gently, but get nothing. She's absolutely unresponsive, so I just drag her to our bed and lay her there. I go back to our kitchen and call her parents, Alice and Julio. I simply told them that they needed to come and that their daughter is suffering a mental breakdown. I say nothing more than just telling them that they needed to see us, and that what was happening needed to be face-to-face to explain. I shut my phone off, go back to the kitchen, and think about what the hell just happened. Her parents rushed over to our apartment demanding to know what happened. I don't tell them about Jamie's infidelity, but just say that she needed mental help. She's on the bed acting comatose, but otherwise okay. They couldn't bring her out of it, and eventually I had to explain. I didn't want to do it without Jamie being able to explain herself. I showed them the video, and they were heartbroken. I told them that we had an argument, that I didn't hurt her, but she probably couldn't handle the stress and broke down. They decide to bring Jamie to her university's mental health clinic. I decide not to go with them. The next day, Jamie eventually wakes up. She's stable and unresponsive. There, she says that the video was non-consensual. Her family decides to report this to cybercrime police. Jamie's family don't grill her with her mental state being the way it is, but her parents are obviously ashamed and aren't sure what to do other than what the psychologist recommends, which is to let Jamie rest for a while and support her until they're sure that she doesn't implode. Then she was sent home with her parents. This was all relayed to me by her older sister, Jackie, who's trying to be the mediator. She asked me if I was really going to end the relationship. I responded that I'm not sure if we can even salvage it. 2 days later, Jamie's parents asked me to visit them for a talk. I agree and go the next day. Jamie's parent and her older sister are present. We go to their living room and sit down. They looked sad and tired, and I felt the same. Jamie was the last topic of our talk. First, we talked about me. They wanted my parents to be involved. I felt disrespected as we're already adults. Plus, me and my father are tense, but I relent as I'm already tired and a bit out of my depth. Marriage was discussed in the past, after all. Finally, we talk about Jamie. She's stuck in her room, miserable and ashamed, but otherwise okay. She'll stay with her parents for now, and when she's needed by the cops, she can stay with Jackie in a hotel. They understand that I needed space. They submitted a report to our city's cybercrime office. I'm needed for the investigation. I explained that I wasn't the one who found the video, but I'll try to get Mike involved. They apologize for Jamie, but I tell them she's the one who needed to apologize and that they shouldn't baby her. They agreed, but begged me not to argue right now since Jamie may relapse. They then explained her psychologist's assessment. A spontaneous nervous breakdown, no history of mental illness, concluded to be caused by accumulated stress from her studies and acute stress reaction from our argument. She needs rest in a safe environment. The psychologist almost called the police on me. What? Why? For what? But Jamie's parents convinced them not to, and with no physical trauma observed, gave up. The discussion devolved to apologizing, tears from Alice especially, and other noise. But they did want to take charge of everything. The investigation, Jamie's well-being, her education and finances, etc. I was kinda washed off with everything. 8 days later, Alice calls me in the middle of the night, begging me to see Jamie. Jamie had a depressive episode involving a kitchen knife where she locked herself in the bathroom yelling for me. It was the worst hour of my life. I'm pretty sure I almost died twice on the road trying to get to her, and I'm glad my country isn't developed enough for highway cameras. I meet Alice and Jackie outside the house waiting for me. Jamie was mostly calmed down, and Julio was with her in her room. They begged me to go see her, and with how bad the situation looked, I rushed to Jamie. She's a wreck. She looked like her blood's been drained and she hadn't slept for a while. She starts crying the moment she sees me and reaches out her arms. Whatever anger, exhaustion, and anxiety I had melted away, and I embrace her. She kept apologizing and begging for me to stay. I shush her and hold her tight. She eventually goes to sleep, and I take a moment to think about what's happening. I genuinely felt heartbroken seeing her like this. This is not how I thought we'd be together in the future, much less this Christmas. I'm losing my best friend and partner for life. This was the person who helped me through my depression, even when my own family dismissed it. She's even the one who made me make journals to help process what I was going through. It's actually ironic how she's the reason how well I can write down details on her affair and how badly it affected me. She's not evil, she's a beautiful, patient, and overall wonderful human being. Thinking of all the stuff we've been through, what we've done for each other, if I were to list all of it, it would probably reach twice the word count for this post. I love her, and I was prepared to be with her for life and face everything that comes with it. And she destroyed that. I woke up before her and go to the kitchen for coffee. Jackie is there and explains that she's had episodes twice before and this was the worst yet. All of us except Jamie talk on what to do. Alice is in chemo for breast cancer. Julio runs a business 20 minutes away, and Jackie's workplace is already hounding her, and Jamie needs help. The situation is messed up and everyone's exhausted. Jamie needs therapy. I implied putting her in a mental institution, and that almost got my head torn off. But no one can look after her 24/7. They asked me to reschedule the inevitable and try to help her. There was definitely some emotional manipulation, but they were desperate. Due to my obvious lingering attachment and my own respect and love for these people, I agree. This is where I screwed up. I go home and talk to Mike about the investigation. He agrees to talk to the police. I call Alex and explain all the BS that's happening. He warns me that this didn't sound like the right call. A mental institution was probably the best, and I'm just gonna get hurt. Regardless, he'll stand by my decision and to call when I need him. I love that guy. I've already scheduled a consultation for therapy, and Jamie will have a different one scheduled 3 days from now in my city. I just want to take a really long nap and get away from all this. Then, 2 weeks later, OP posted an update. As for Jamie, I've gradually stepped out of whatever's been happening with her and around her. I talked with her family, or more like I told them that I'm leaving. I gave them info about the psychiatric hold and made them handle her appointments with her psychologist and whatever else she needs. It was a sad affair, really. I know it doesn't seem like it, especially with Alice and Julio making me stay and take care of Jamie, but this is a first time for all of us. They raised 4 great kids, their relationships are great, and they even extended that to me even when they barely knew me. Jamie messed up the worst, and this isn't something anyone can expect anyone else to handle with ease and grace. I mourned my loss of a potential family that I could have been proud to be with. Now, who was the piece of garbage who filmed her? I still haven't confronted my ex-girlfriend about it, but Mike and Jackie shared what she told the cops and how the investigation's going. The guy was a Korean national that she says that she met on social media for a fling. She said they only did it once, but that was immediately shot down. The video showed 2 different, distinct rooms, and she got pressured to admit where it was in case they could get anything like CCTV, social media posts, logbooks, witnesses, etc. And that they did. One hotel still had 2 recordings that day. 2 hotels had logbooks containing names and dates, and their DMs. She didn't mention sexual assault, blackmail, or drugs, only mild intoxication, which was all obvious in the video, apparently. Everything but the recording was consented. There were some possible routes to take in terms of damages, but when a lawyer got contacted, it was pretty much dead in the water. The guy being a Korean national currently in Korea muddied the legal waters. They can do nothing else other than contact the relevant Korean authorities, gather a bunch of evidence, and wait. But the lawyer wasn't confident that anything might stick. As far as they know, they have no confidence that it was even this guy who set up the cameras. Beyond the fact that this guy stayed the night before and the cameras were obviously long since gone. There are far too many angles this guy could play to delay or even win any lawsuit that reaches him. It would most likely be expensive, drawn out, and with very little chance of winning. So they gave up on that route. The guy is getting off scot-free. Why'd Jamie do it? I don't know. Before, I didn't have the guts to ask her. Now, it doesn't really matter. I'm not as exhausted as before, and my mind's been clearer. I'm leaving for good, regardless of why she did it. I can just walk straight out with no explanation, or maybe leave a letter for her, thanking her for the wonderful time that we spent together, the love we shared, and a final goodbye. I'm romantic like that. Still, I've decided to handle this with as much grace as I can. I'll help when worst comes to worst. Don't lay blame on myself or her family, and not even mount pressure on Jamie for ruining everything. Not for Jamie, but for my own twisted sense of self-gratification that I did all that could be expected and more. I'll leave with my back straight and my nose held high. In the comments of this one, people are talking about how this type of voyeuristic adult content, especially non-consensual, is super popular in Korea, so much that there's a name for it, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to encourage it. But it's apparently a big problem over in Korea right now, and it's led to a couple of major scandals involving, famous actresses and social media people and such. So unfortunately, it seems like this non-consensual recording issue is just going to get worse and worse as time goes on and cameras become more powerful and hideable. That was r/Best of Redditor updates, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.